I'm eating! I've got to tell it to someone. The only show where I'm something whatever. First question is from Nish Brown, I think. If pro and con and opposites, wouldn't the opposite of progress be Congress? Well, yes. Mostly because, you know, the whole American government was designed so anything that was at least a bit contentious wouldn't get done, except certain people in the American government don't want to do anything, so they make everything contentious, even though it's basic things like universal healthcare, which every other westernised nation has. This is a comedy thing. Stop doing the politics, you bad dog. Next question is from somebody else. Yeah, with the name of Canadian Atheist. Between your cattle licking your head and sex with the Queen of England, do I really want to ask more questions? Yes, you do. You do, because, you know, how else are you going to find out about really messed up things like what the lyrics of Carmina Burana really mean? I mean, you know, there's wanting to have sex with the Queen of England, and there is also the song of the swan that's being roasted. And other things like that. I mean, how else are you going to find out about these things if it's not for me? I'm the cultural thingy guy around here. Don't look at me like that. That's better. Question from 727 Phoenix. Do you think foods that cause large amount of intestinal gas would help alleviate back pain? I think this on account of atheist Aussie. I would like to see the vibrations emanating from Constance flatulence would massage the spine from inside, creating soothing relief. I asked that because I think he's a great guy and like him, and I'm very concerned for his well-being. Thank you in advance for your reply. Well, not as much as a small Japanese woman walking up and down your back. That's nice. Am I James all of a sudden? Next question is from Big Dwarren. Where does belly button lint come from? Down there. Yeah. Just... Here's some I made earlier. Stuck to my finger. Next question is from Mustachioed Melon. Is a Chrysler tower made of cars? Well, the Chrysler tower is not actually a tower. See, cars in the 50s were much bigger than the cars of today. I mean, they were, you know, that big. And going back further into time, they got bigger and bigger and bigger until the going backwards through time rather, so forward in time smaller. Anyway, you see so what happened was, at that peak point, what Chrysler did was they made one car, a really big car, and they upended it and put it in New York City. And then the Empire State Car Company came along, and they put one up, and they went bankrupt, and that was the end of the arms race with big cars. I mean, you know, it's happening. It was happening even today. I mean, the Hummer started out like being, like, you know, like this wall of car, and then came H2, which was smaller, and by this time, if they hadn't have shut down, they would like be the same size and shape as the Mini, but they're getting bigger, so the Mini would have been the same size as the Hummer, except because they're not small cars, the Minis, they're like this big. Back in the 70s, you know, the one my brother had in the 1980s, you know, that was like, you know, that was a proper size Mini. That was actually Mini. These are like Maxis and stuff. Another question. Since singing along with my moles, I have found that I developed superpowers. Anything that happens, I try to do happens with irresistible force. I am also indestructible and constantly generate into heat, crime, health. Anything, any part of the skin, any part of any skin I touch of other people makes them experience orgasm on that body part. What should my superhero name be, and should I be concerned about boredom if the rest of the universe is eventually dispersed into heat death? Unfortunately, Dangerously Talented is taken, so I don't have any ideas. That's the only actual idea I had, and that just came from my Wikipedia page. Next question is, I think, the last question. That was Chethonius who said that previous question. Brotherhood of Man on the level of... is there a Brotherhood of Man on the level of a Brotherhood of Man? A noble tone that bind all human hearts into the minds of a Brotherhood of Man. For a form. Well, no. Not since that, you know, Eurovision thing, you know. No. And that's it for Tell It to Someone for this week. It sort of petered out at that point. If you would like to ask me Dovetail questions, then ask me Dovetail questions now. Here are the answers for last week's Dovetail questions. Oh, that one's good. Yeah. That's really good. You've made up some really good, solid Keith Urban lyrics. I mean, you know, none of you have obviously listened to Keith Urban music, so I'd expect you to come up with all sorts of funny lyrics. What? Stop that! How? No, that is completely unacceptable. I expected you to make up some weird stuff and say it was Keith Urban lyrics, not actual Keith Urban lyrics. I can't let you have anything nice at all. I made some perfectly good Dovetail question things, and then you spoil it, absolutely spoil it by answering it like properly instead of putting silly jokes in there. Can't let you have those things. Here's next week's Dovetail question. I'm dangerously talented and I don't have a cool son.